Hey everyone, today we're going to be comparing a couple of epic minimal travel bags. Here I have the Patagonia Mini MLC, the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, and the ULA Dragonfly, which are all popular, well-built bags that have a nice layout, and they also have a focus on keeping things a little bit lighter weight, which is going to make them very carry-on friendly for airlines that have stricter weight limits. But there are going to be some similarities and differences that you want to keep in mind depending on your particular needs to find the one that's going to be best for you. So hopefully this video can help with that. Before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Just a quick note before we start, as is usually the case when I'm comparing 3 bags instead of 2, space can be a little bit of a challenge to keep everything in frame, and so I may periodically hide my face as I try to showcase all of the bags together. I'll try to manage that as we go along, but just wanted to call it out. And so starting off with the aesthetic, this is one of the reasons I was excited to compare these 3 bags, because they all feel like they have a little bit more of a rugged, kind of adventurous, almost outdoorsy vibe, particularly the ULA Dragonfly. This is, something that definitely feels like a bag that's meant to be in the outdoors. You have the bungee cord on the front, compression straps, and with the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, it reminds me of their Venture series as far as the texture and the aesthetic of, the exterior. You have some attachment points. This one doesn't feel overly technical, but it just kind of feels a little bit more rugged in my opinion than some of their transit line bags, which are sleeker and more modern, professional feeling. And then the Patagonia Mini MLC also has a little bit more of that kind of rugged, outdoorsy vibe. Patagonia's brand in general just feels more in that category. And I do think that this strikes a nice balance as far as not feeling too technical, but like the Lite Travel Pack, you have some attachment points, and the materials and the texture just kind of give it that vibe. So it's something that is going to be pretty comfortable to use if you happen to be taking your bag into the outdoors. Of course, these are primarily, in my opinion, geared for travel. They're going to be great for, taking into a variety of different environments, if you're exploring a city, for taking onto a flight, and then, they're just going to blend in without calling a ton of attention to themselves. And then as far as the build quality, these all feel really solid. I have a couple of different fabrics here. These all use YKK zippers, very reliable, smooth working. And one of the cool things about these bags is that they're a little bit more lightweight than some of the other options in this category, in this size range that I feature a lot on the channel, which is really helpful when you're traveling on some of these stricter domestic and international airlines. And so the Patagonia Mini MLC has kind of a ripstop recycled nylon on the exterior that's going to offer nice weather resistance. And then you have, the very chunky YKK zipper on the main compartment. This one comes in at just over 2 pounds, which is really impressive for the size and the features that it offers. Then we have the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, which has been a really impressive newer release in this category, particularly with regards to the weight. Comes in at slightly under 2 pounds, I believe, and they have, this really nice feeling nylon material. Durable. I like how it molds around the items that are on the inside. It's not super rigid. And then you have aqua guards on some of the zippers to give you a little bit more peace of mind if you happen to get caught in some rain. And then for the ULA Dragonfly, I believe this is made in a couple of different fabrics. The version that I have here is the Ultra Edition, and so it's going to offer plenty of durability, weather resistance. And then ULA's Dragonfly is one of the most well-known lighter weight bags. Again, for the features and the size, it's really impressive how they're able to keep that weight down. So very, very solid build quality on all of these. And then continuing along the exterior, they're all gonna have really great top carrying handles, so you can pick them up when the bags aren't in use. And so interesting implementation here from the ULA side. This one comes up quite a bit, and so really nice seatbelt-like fabric here, maybe slightly thicker than the other two, but no side handles on this one, which is something that I'll come back to in a second as to why I'm okay with that trade-off here. You do have a side handle on the Lite Travel Pack from Bellroy and on the Mini MLC. So very similar layout here with these two as far as the type of handle that they have, just a really nice material, very easy to grab them. and then on the side as well. Works nicely, not just for carrying it if you don't want to wear it on your back, but also for pairing with the luggage pass-through that these two have. And then beyond that, each of these have some sort of external attachment point or way to hold items that won't fit on the inside of the bag. So with the MLC and the Lite Travel Pack, you have that in the form of some loops along the exterior that you can pair with third-party straps. So in the videos that I've done for these, I've kind of shown how that works. I have third-party straps from Wander that go across the sides. You can crisscross them. You can use them to hold jacket, skateboard, yoga mat, and then you can also use these to clip on accessories with a carabiner if you don't want to use straps. With the Dragonfly, you actually have the bungee cord system, which is really nice, as that just comes included. You can loosen this up, you can tighten it, you can just, use the same sort of items there, a jacket, tripod, extra pair of shoes. So I really like having this flexibility here. It does give it an extra sort of technical look compared to the other two, but with that you do get the added functionality. And then with the Dragonfly, you also have compression straps on both sides that will allow you to tighten the bag up when it's not in use. You can also use it and pair it with the water bottle pockets. You have two really awesome external water bottle pockets with the Dragonfly, which does give it a little bit of an edge over the other two. And these are very spacious, and with the compression straps, if you want to store something a little bit taller, you can, strap it down to just make it a little more secure. And these water bottle pockets, I love how elastic they are, and they just give you that extra bit of flexibility with what you're carrying. You do have an external water bottle pocket on the Mini MLC, only one of them, and so one side focuses on the handle, the other side focuses on the water bottle pocket. And this is a nice pocket. It does a good job as far as the space and the elasticity, so gets the job done. Not quite as spacious as the one on the Dragonfly. These are, a little bit kind of wider. But with the Dragonfly, you don't have a handle on the side. So you get the two pockets, but no side handle. Patagonia kind of splits the difference there. And then with the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, this has been one of the main sort of key features that is missing is no external water bottle pocket. You do have this sort of side here that doesn't have anything there. So it would be great to see a water bottle pocket added in the future. But if you don't care as much about the water bottle pocket and prefer to have a more streamlined, clean look that is not going to have something that could potentially get snagged when you're sliding it under your seat, that's something to keep in mind. There's always trade-offs with these features, but I really like having at least one water bottle pocket, and so if that's where you're at, then these two options will have a little bit of an edge in that regard. And then as far as the branding, Bellroy, very minimal with the small logo on the front. ULA has a Velcro patch area. They do include a branded ULA sort of logos patch, but you can take that off, customize it with whatever you want. And then Patagonia, of course, is always well known for having the large logo on the front with the brand name, which I've just kind of accepted with that comes with the territory with these bags. I think that that's fine, and particularly for this one, which is one of my all-time favorite sort of minimal travel bags, you get a lot. Even though it does have that branding. And then the last thing I'll mention on the exterior is how well the bags stand on their own. They all do a pretty good job, which is surprising just given how, something like the Bellroy bag doesn't have a super rigid structure. Now, if this one is emptier, it may start to kind of shift and want to tip over. And with the Dragonfly, it's a little bit slanted on the bottom. You do have that rugged Ultra fabric, which is pretty rigid, so it manages to stand up, as you can see, but it just feels a little like it's leaning, which always makes me nervous. So in this regard, I think the Patagonia Mini MLC is kind of the most stable when it's loaded out, but again, there can be some shifting depending on how things are loaded. Taking a look at the capacity, these are all listed at 30 liters. But we know that 30 liters isn't always going to mean the same thing across various brands and layouts. And so with the Dragonfly, an interesting aspect is that the main compartment is actually, I believe, 24 liters, and then the rest of that volume is distributed on the top quick access pocket, the water bottle pockets. But with that being said, because of the layout of this bag, it still feels like it can hold close to the same amount as many 30-liter bags, including these two here. We'll get a little bit deeper on that when we take a look at the main compartments and how I load everything out. But as far as 30-liter size, they feel pretty comparable, particularly the Bellroy and the Mini MLC. They're very close. The Dragonfly feels slightly smaller. All of these are really nice, minimal travel bag size. This is something that can work well as a personal item on a lot of the domestic airlines. I've used these internationally as well. They're a little bit riskier, particularly with the height. They can definitely start to, reach the limits on some of the stricter airlines. So you want to kind of just approach that with caution, but I've used each of these in a variety of different international settings and haven't had any issues thus far. Moving into the harnesses, each of these has been surprisingly comfortable to wear considering the trade-offs that they're trying to make to help keep the weight of the bag down. So the harnesses on these aren't going to be as robust as some of the larger and heavier travel bags like the Air Travel Pack 3 or the Tortuga harnesses, which I'm always talking about on the channel, but they still do a really great job, and there's some interesting differences across the three bags. And so I would say that the ULA Dragonfly has kind of the most standard harness. They have a nice amount of padding. You have the breathable mesh on the inside. Then you have good padding on the back with mesh, well distributed. You have a little bit of elevation here to help give you some airflow while you're walking around. And so kind of checks off the boxes for what I would typically be looking for. There's no load lifters, which in general, I'm not crazy about, but I know some people like that. And so, yeah, it does a good job. And then with the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, this to me is maybe the most comfortable of the three as far as the padding that's been included here. I really like this harness that Bellroy has come up with for this line. Super soft, well padded straps, which again is impressive considering the weight of the bag. And then they have this breathable material on the inside, same material and padding on the back panel as well, distributed all throughout. So really, really like the way that this feels as you're wearing it. One thing about this one is that you do have the ability to hide the straps away, and this is the one area of the bag which always gives me a little bit of pause is these, attachment points on the bottom. They're a little thinner than what I would like to see. Now with this 30-liter version of the bag, it's not as big of a concern. The 38-liter size, when you're loading it out and wearing it for a longer period of time, is a little bit more concerning. So for this one, I haven't really had an issue because with this size of bag, it doesn't feel like I can load it out that much, but still something that I like to call out. And it's also nice that you can hide the straps away. I know some people like that to just kind of make it easier to stow the bag and prevent things from getting snagged. And so this one probably wins as far as the comfort for me. And then with the Mini MLC, this one has also been quite comfortable. You have a nice amount of padding on the straps, good bit of breathability, padding on the back. And this one also has the ability to hide the straps away, which is really nice. They have these quick release buckles that feel really secure. And one of the most unique aspects about this bag is that not only can you hide the straps away, but it includes a strap that can allow you to carry it as a shoulder bag. That strap also then doubles as a waist belt. You can put it into the bottom and you have, a pretty good waist belt considering it's sort of a hybrid functionality. So I've always thought that was such a clever solution from Patagonia. It really helps separate the bag in my opinion. So if you're traveling with another backpack and you want to use a shoulder bag and not have to carry two backpacks, that can work quite well. And then if you're really loading this out, if you want the extra support, you have the waist belt that you can use, which isn't available on the other two bags. And then the Patagonia Mini MLC has a really great luggage pass through here. It's just kind of this strap system. You can almost use it as a handle as well. This works great. It's spacious. It'll pair nicely with a variety of different handles. The Bellroy Lite Travel Pack also has a really spacious luggage pass-through, so really great to see that included here. And then with the ULA Dragonfly, this version that I have does not have a luggage pass-through, which I was sad about considering the size of the bag, and this is definitely the type of thing I could see pairing with the roller bag. Now they did, at the time of filming this video, release a small newer batch of Dragonflies that I believe have a luggage pass-through. I don't know if that version is here to stay, if that was just a limited run, special release or anything like that. So make sure to check out their site. If they have those available, it might be worth grabbing one, as I don't know if this is going to continue to be kind of the standard version. And it's not a deal breaker by any means, but it would really be nice to have. So great to see ULA improving on the design. And I think that it's awesome that each of these bags actually have that functionality, because you never know when you're gonna be maybe not loading these out quite as much and just using this as your smaller bag along with your suitcase. And then jumping into the organizational options, each of these has a really useful layout and they have a fairly different approach that they take in implementing their pocketing. All of them have really great quick access pockets. So with the ULA, you have the top quick access area, which I'm always a fan of this style of pocket. This is the type of thing I just place down next to me when I'm at the airport, at a coffee shop. I love having this spacious, simple area at the top. This can hold a lot of different types of items, smaller pouches, phone charger, and this is where I would toss in a lot of things while going through TSA. You have a little carabiner clip for your keys, a multi-tool, and then you also have a zippered quick access pocket on the front, and it's got kind of an elastic material here, so it'll mold around larger items that you want to store here. So it's great to have sort of the flexibility that's provided there in addition to the bungee cord on the front. So really, really nice on the quick access front. And then Bellroy has two zippered quick access pockets, and the implementation here, it's kind of at the top like the ULA, but this one has this sort of just pouch at the front, got plenty of independent volume. So again, great for storing pouches, sunglasses, GoPros, any of those bulkier items that I'm normally carrying with me. Also has a zippered pocket on the front. The orientation here is meant to work well with kind of the carrying handle on the side, so you can reach down, grab it, you can swing the bag around, access this pocket. It has a nice bit of volume as well. So, that's one of the things that I'm always looking for on any quick access pockets, is how easily can I use it to store larger things like pouches, jackets, the items that maybe don't fit into the main compartment. And so always nice to have that extra bit of space, and just slightly different as far as the orientation and the implementation, but still very, very effective. And then for Patagonia, another really nice top quick access pocket, a little bit of a different style than the other two. And this one does poke into the main area a little bit, so you have to keep that in mind if you're putting a lot of stuff in here. But gets the job done. It's pretty simple, but I've used this with much effect when I was traveling to reach down and grab those items that I need the most often. I typically have my headphones in here in addition to the charging cable and sunglasses that I was mentioning for the other two. This one doesn't have quick access pocket on the front in the same way that these do. That's more on the inside. And so shifting to the laptop compartment while I'm on the MLC, this one has a dedicated laptop area that opens up flat. And so this is going to be, that style of laptop pocket that I'm not always crazy about because I never really open it flat like this, but the implementation is well done here. These are properly suspended, so it's pulled up. I can drop my laptop in here. I have a padded laptop sleeve and a tablet sleeve, so it's always nice to have it dedicated for each one, as I do tend to travel with both of those devices quite often. You have a Velcro strap to secure it if you do open it flat. And then what's interesting is you have a nice sort of dedicated tech and EDC area here. So you have zipper pocket on the bottom for charging cables and whatnot. You have a couple of elastic slip pockets here that could be good for a mouse, portable hard drive, and then a couple of additional pockets for portable battery, pen slots. You have a little clip for your keys, slightly padded pocket if you want to put your phone in there. So really nice variety of items there. I've always been surprised with how useful that section manages to be. With the Bellroy bag, you have an external laptop compartment. It's got the vertically oriented zipper here, and this is pulled up a little bit off the bottom of the ground, and it offers a decent amount of padding. I also like that the orientation works well with the luggage pass-through, so I can rest this on my luggage, get my laptop in and out. That's always a little bit of a challenge with the MLC because the laptop compartment is vertically oriented, but you're resting the bag sideways on your suitcase. So I was always wishing that one of those things was oriented differently so that it was a little more seamless like the Bellroy bag here. And then from what I saw on the Dragonfly, if you get the version with the luggage pass-through, it is going to be something that you rest on its side, which is unfortunate because it also has the dedicated laptop compartment on the back. This is a top loading compartment. It does a pretty good job. It's not the most robust laptop compartment, which is kind of the case for all of these, but it is pulled up a little bit off the bottom of the ground. So you do have that protection, and it's always nice to just have a dedicated compartment so that you don't have to be moving things around in the main area to access your device. And then as far as the main compartments, these all have a travel-friendly either suitcase style or clamshell style opening. I'll go ahead and start with the Bellroy pack. This one has the suitcase style opening, so it opens to the side, and you have a really great layout here. It doesn't go overboard as far as the organization that's provided. On the lid, you have a zippered mesh compartment that's a little bit larger on the bottom. Really impressive volume offered here, so it can almost work as a secondary packing cube. And then you have an additional zippered pocket above that. It's not mesh, but again, plenty of space. This is where I would typically store something like my dop kit because it's able to fit in here comfortably. I might put a pair of shoes on the bottom. And then for the main area, you have a zippered mesh divider. You can open this up, and then this perfectly holds my Peak Design packing cube setup. So here I have the smaller compressible packing cube, and I have the larger compressible packing cube. Both of those fit in there very, very comfortably, and it doesn't feel overly packed out, just really, really great fit. And then I'll go ahead and put the same loadout into the other bags, and I'll talk a little bit about sort of the differences in space. So coming to the ULA, this one, again, this main compartment is listed at 24 liters, even though this is a 30-liter bag. And you do have some compression straps in this compartment, so they will allow you to secure the items down if you want to. I kind of would have preferred to have left those off, particularly as this is something I might actually use for EDC, and those straps always get in the way, in my opinion. But I can put in that larger compressible cube, and then put the smaller one, and you still have some leftover space here at the top. So it's not taking up the full volume. A little bit different than what Bellroy did. They do have a couple of zippered mesh pockets on the other side here. So you have two that are gonna be great for smaller accessories. I have my nail clipper set and a deck of playing cards, and then there's another one on the bottom. But these don't have as much volume as the compartments that the Bellroy bag did have on the lid. So I would put my dop kit, jackets, and things like that here in this compartment as opposed to trying to put it there. So the space is distributed a little bit differently, but really impressive how much it can hold considering the more compact main area. And then the Mini MLC has the clamshell style opening, which is probably my go-to. This one had a clamshell as well. It feels almost like a duffel bag, and then this is not that different, but just has a nice wide opening. And then the layout here, you have this large main area that's got a zippered mesh divider, and then open space here that will be able to handle the Peak Design packing cubes comfortably. Before I toss those in, one thing that I always appreciate about the Patagonia design here is you can actually roll this up. There's a little pocket on the bottom, so you can tuck it away if you actually want to use this more as a daily bag, or you don't want to have that divider there cluttering things up. So let me grab the packing cubes from the ULA. Peak Design packing cube medium, packing cube small. And again, very comfortable. And there is a little bit of extra space here, similar to what we saw in the ULA. Like, it doesn't come all the way to the top, so you can rest a couple of additional items here. I had the dop kit and rain jacket in the Bellroy bag still, so I'll go ahead and toss those there at the top, and they fit with no problem. I could still put another pair of shoes or something like that. Zip this section up so that everything stays in place. It doesn't fall out if I want to, lift the bag up. And then on the other side, you do have some additional organization. You have a couple of zippered pockets here on the lid, which I've always appreciated the implementation here because they do have some dedicated volume. So because the Patagonia bag doesn't have external quick access pockets, these pockets here can actually extend outward a little bit, which makes them quite useful if you're using them to store, other sort of tech accessories, pouches, toiletries. They're gonna give you some flexibility, and you have two of them. One has the mesh so that you can see it. The other one does not. And because of the orientation of those pockets, when you are holding this in briefcase mode, if it's on your luggage, you can open up this section of the clamshell, reach in and grab from these pockets pretty easily. So that design does feel really well thought out. And so, like I was saying, all of these layouts have been quite nice to use when I've been traveling. They're just a little bit different. And so Which one is going to work best for you will depend on the types of items that you're carrying, how you like to access your stuff, and I think any of them will do just fine. And so to kind of just finalize this section on the sizing, it does feel like the Bellroy and Patagonia bags can hold maybe slightly more than the ULA Dragonfly, but the Dragonfly does feel like it's a little bit more everyday carry and hiking friendly. I think you can get away with using these other two bags as a daily bag if you're really trying to just have one thing when you arrive at your destination that you can carry around with you. I don't think any of these is overly bulky or uncomfortable to use, but the Bellroy and Patagonia bags are a little towards the larger end of what I like to use as a daily bag, whereas the ULA Dragonfly is closer. That 24-liter main area, really that's where it kind of shines. And so depending on what your main focus of the bag will be, if you're going to be taking another one, or your height and things like that, those are some of the aspects that you want to keep in mind. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this video is the pricing. So these are all fairly premium bags. The Patagonia Mini MLC comes in at around $200. Same for the 30-liter light travel pack. The ULA Dragonfly is going to be a little bit more expensive, particularly if you get the ultra fabric version. Now, these bags are made in the USA, I believe, as far as the Dragonfly, which also adds to the additional cost. It still comes in at around $290, I believe, is what I paid. So a little bit more expensive, but those are some of the additional aspects that you get for that price. I think they're all a pretty good value considering the features and the quality that you get and the usefulness out of the bags. To me, the Patagonia feels almost like the best value if you're kind of prioritizing features overall. This one has the advantage of having the harness that you can not only hide the straps away, but it includes the strap that allows you to wear it on your shoulder, wear it as a waist belt if you want that extra support. You still have the space, the really useful layout, and the materials are durable. They feel good. With the Bellroy bag coming in at a similar price range, you don't get the water bottle pocket, but I do feel that the harness system is more comfortable and the materials just feel a little bit more refined, premium, and they're also gonna be slightly lighter. And then if you want, something that's just a little bit more rugged as far as the fabric, and you want that extra functionality that comes with a backpack that looks a little bit more technical, then the Dragonfly is probably going to be the one to go with. So a couple of different things to consider, but regardless of which one you end up choosing, you're going to get a really versatile, solid, minimal travel bag that's just going to work great in a lot of different situations. And so that's it. Those are some of the similarities and differences between these awesome minimal travel bags. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the items that I featured in the video or suggestions for similar bags in this category that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the dedicated reviews that I've done for each of these bags, as well as to some of the other roundup videos that I've done recently where I talked about my favorite new releases of 2024, which included bags like the Able Carry Max EDC and the Tom Bin Cynic 26. I'll also include previous roundup videos where I've talked about some of my favorite minimal travel bags, including some of my all-time favorites like the Evergood CTB 26 and the GoRuck GR2. And if you have ideas for other roundup videos that you'd like to see or other comparisons of these types of categories, definitely let me know about those as well. And I want to thank you as always for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.